Hey guys, Peter here. Welcome to my investment portfolio update video for October 2022. This is video number 6 in my portfolio update series, and just to recap, the reasons why I started this series was not to brag or show off, but rather to share my personal investment strategies, wins and losses with you guys so that we can all try and learn something together. Okay, let's get on to this video. Now, the stock market is overall still very bloody. Although the JSE All Share Index is up 2.8% and the S&P 500 is up 7.5% this past month, the S&P 500 is still down more than 22% since the start of the year. This puts us in an official bear market, which is when an index falls by more than 20%. Now, in last month's update video, I already explained why the stock market is falling and why our stock portfolios kind of look like a crime scene. So I'm not going to go over all of that again today. But I did find some really interesting charts that I want to share with you guys, just so you can see that what is currently happening right now is not really new, but it is definitely unprecedented times that only happens once every couple of decades. This chart shows the total return of the MSCI World Index, which basically tracks the performance of all the large and mid-cap companies of the developed world. When we compare the negative returns of this year, it is the third worst year in the past 42 years. And conventional investment wisdom would tell you that in order to try and hedge against the risk that equities brings about, you need to invest in bonds. But that's also not the case, at least not in the American market. The total return of the US Treasuries this year is the lowest it has ever been in the past 42 years. And if you go way back to the 1940s, the S&P 500 index, which tracks the performance of the top 500 companies in the US market, went into a total of 14 bear markets where the stock market on average dropped around 25%. The S&P 500 index also had experienced only 3 worst first 3 quarters of a year in the history of the stock market, once in 1931 during the Great Depression, in 1974 during the recession, and in 2002 during 9/11. And if we look at the poor European market, out of all the sectors that you can possibly invest in, only the energy sector has a slight positive return so far in this year. So it really seems like there literally is no place in the stock market where you can invest your money in order to get a positive return at this moment. And I get it. Being an investor during these unprecedented times is rather brutal. I personally started my investment journey in January 2020, and since then we have been through 2 major stock market crashes. During the first one, I panicked and wanted to just sell off everything in the stock market and put my money into a bank account in order to prevent further losses. But luckily, my financial advisor at the time told me, Peter, just be rustig, and not to make erratic emotional decisions. And I'm really grateful that I listened, because after the markets fell by more than 30% in just over a month's time in March 2020, it went on a raging rally where it climbed by more than 105% over the next 21 months. And that's what the stock market does. It goes up and it goes down, and it goes up and it goes down. But as you can see from this chart, a bull market always follows a bear market with returns that are usually much higher. But you will only receive these returns if your money actually stays in the market. The majority of the returns are usually made just after the market pivots. The majority of the returns are usually made just after the market pivots. And just as you want to believe that you will be able to time that pivot, I can bet many randellas that you won't. Not even the smartest asset managers in the world can, because simply no one has a crystal ball. And from this chart, we can see that the market will, on average, drop by over 20% once every 6 years, and it usually takes about 370 days to recover. So as you can see, what's happening now in the market is definitely not fun, but it is all part of long-term investing. So even though your portfolio may also look bloody, just as mine definitely is, don't stress too much. As long as you have a good investment strategy and that you are well diversified across many different assets, just continue to invest. I am confident that we would look back in a year or two and be glad that we didn't panic and just followed the age-old strategy of dollar or rand cost averaging our money into the markets through all of the highs and lows. Okay, lekker. So let's see what I did with my money this month. I invested a total of 10,000 Rand, which was split up between 1,000 Rand into local individual stocks, 2,000 Rand into offshore individual stocks, 2,500 Rand into a passively managed tax-free savings account, 500 Rand into a passively managed retirement annuity, 500 Rand into property, 2,500 Rand into crypto, 500 Rand into an actively managed tax-free savings account, and 500 Rand into an actively managed retirement annuity. Right, so let's start with my local shares portfolio, whose value is currently at 11,785 Rand with a loss of 0.29% or 32 Rand. I currently own 17 individual stocks, including African Rainbow Capital, Aspen, British American Tobacco, Capitec, Richmond, Discovery, MTN, Naspers, Northern Platinum, Prosus, Purple Group, Sasol, Shoprite, Sibanye Stillwater, Standard Bank, Spar, and Transaction Capital. So far, my best performing stock is Naspers with a profit of 13.7%, and my worst performing stock is Sasol with a loss of 21.8%. I didn't add or sell any stocks in this portfolio this month, but I did invest 200 Rand into Aspen, British American Tobacco, MTN, Sibanye Stillwater, and Northern Platinum. Now, the way in which I decide which stocks to invest in is I simply visit the Simply Wall Street website and then try and find the stocks that are currently the most undervalued. So for example, according to their analysis, Aspen is undervalued at 47.8%, British American Tobacco at 65.9%, MTN at 58.2%, Sibanye Stillwater at 58.2%, and Northern Platinum at a whopping 72.9%. Next up is my offshore shares portfolio, where I mostly invest in large US stocks. This portfolio value is currently at $3,102 with a loss of 11.77% or $400. Now, I used to own 9 individual US stocks, including Alphabet, Amazon, Apple, Berkshire Hathaway, Meta, Microsoft, Nvidia, Tesla, and Twitter, as well as 2 US ETFs, including the Vanguard S&P 500 and the Vanguard FTSE Emerging Market ETF. But to my surprise, when I opened my US stock portfolio, Twitter was missing in action. Apparently, our boyki Elon, who recently bought out Twitter, decided to make the company private, and hence it was removed from the New York Stock Exchange. This means that if you owned shares in Twitter, you will be refunded with $54.20 per share by means of a tender offer. So yeah, bye bye Twitter. So far, my best performing stock in this portfolio is Apple with a profit of 13.3%, and my worst performing stock is Meta with a loss of a whopping 40.9%. The share price for Alphabet, Amazon, and Meta recently got butchered due to poor earnings reports, but given the current circumstances of the economy, it is kind of expected that people and companies will cut down on their discretionary spending. And though Marcus is holding tightly onto his dream of pioneering the metaverse, but this is at the expense of his companies, which caused many shareholders to be mad and to sell off their holdings in the company because they are kind of losing faith in the company's management. I personally believe that the metaverse will eventually happen, but probably not in the next couple of years, so I'm still rather bullish on all 3 of these stocks. I therefore invested $70 into Alphabet, $70 into Amazon, and $38 into Meta. I also added Visa to my portfolio by investing $100 into it, as they recently announced that they will start incorporating crypto and blockchain technology into their payment system. And seeing that I recently did a ton of research on the future of crypto, this is an industry that I am also very bullish on. I used the same strategy as my local stock portfolio, where I invested in the stocks who are the most undervalued. So for example, Alphabet was 54.8%, Amazon was 78.8%, Meta was 78.2%, and Visa was 15.1% undervalued. Next up is my passively managed tax-free savings account, of which the portfolio value is currently 40,983 Rand with a loss of 1.22% or 476 Rand. I own 4 ETFs, the Core Shares Total World, the Satrix Top 40, the Satrix Property, and the Signa Global Property ETF. My desired tax-free allocation is a split between 40% local shares, 40% offshore shares, 10% local property, and 10% offshore property. And if you want to know how I got to this ratio, then go and watch this video. My current ratio was 35.3% local shares, 36.7% offshore shares, 16.4% local property, and 11.7% offshore property. I therefore invested 1,250 Rand into both the Core Shares Total World and the Satrix Top 40 ETFs, which brought my allocation to 36.2% local shares, 37.5% offshore shares, 15.4% local property, and 11% offshore property. So as you can see, I'm slowly getting to my allocation, but I'm still a bit overexposed to property, which is currently not doing very well, both in South Africa and the American market. Then my Easy Properties portfolio has a value of 3,130 Rand with a profit of 8.12% or 147 Rand. I currently own 4 properties, including the REIT, Capital on Bath, Black Brick Santon 2, and the Fynbos, and I'm still waiting for the purchase of the Duke to go through. I invested 630 Rand into One on An, which has an estimated internal rate of return of 11%, which sounds quite promising. Then moving on to my passively managed retirement annuity, which I have invested in the Signia Skeleton Balanced 70 Fund. My current portfolio value is 28,603 Rand with a profit of 1.96% or 560 Rand. Now it is great to finally see some positive returns with this RA, and I will continue to just Rand cost average into it every single month. I'm also considering opening an RA with 10x Investments, which is the other low-cost passive investment provider that I personally trust, just to kind of see how the returns for both RAs will compare with each other, as well as to the returns of my actively managed RA that I have with PPS. By the way, guys, when I say passively managed funds, it means it is to the investments that I personally manage myself. Actively managed funds are those who are managed by expert asset managers from large firms who actively buy and sell companies to try and beat the market's returns. These oaks tend to charge higher fees, promising higher returns, but whether or not they can beat the market consistently is up for debate. I do have an actively managed tax-free savings account and retirement annuity with PPS, but I then also have passively managed ones that I invest into myself. And the main reason for this is to kind of compare the performance over a couple of years to kind of create my own case study to see if I can perhaps match or even beat the experts by cutting out the extra layer of fees. Now, I'm not saying that I would, but I will definitely give it a go and kind of see how it plays out over the next couple of years. Right, then I also have a dollar-denominated offshore ETF portfolio with Interactive Brokers, whose value is currently at $2,285 with a loss of 20.21% or $377. I own 24 shares in the VWRA ETF, which is an Irish domiciled ETF that tracks the whole world's economy. Now, I didn't add any new investments to this portfolio this month as it is rather expensive to fund it from South Africa, so I usually try and save up between 10,000 and 15,000 Rand at a time before making a lump sum transfer in order to dilute the fees. And if you want to learn more about the Interactive Brokers platform, then go and watch this video where I give you a full tutorial on how you can get started as a South African. And then finally, let's move on to my crypto portfolio. As I mentioned earlier, I recently spent a ton of time researching and understanding blockchain technology, and the more I learned, the more I realized what impact this will have on the world in the future. Spoiler alert, it will completely revolutionize the way that we interact, transact, and communicate with each other. Now, based on a poll that I recently ran on my YouTube channel, it seems like most of you guys don't really understand how cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology work, and that some of you even believe that it is a scam. So I'm going to start producing more and more content on crypto topics in order to try and help educate you guys on this exciting new technology. So if that is something that you are interested in seeing, then make sure to subscribe. Right. So my current crypto investment strategy is to dollar cost average every single month into the top 10 cryptocurrency bundles from both easycrypto.co.za and Revex, and then also to buy Bitcoin and Ethereum separately using the auto buy function on the easycrypto.com platform. I really like this function as I basically just set up the order to split my allocation 50-50 between Bitcoin and Ethereum on the easycrypto.com platform, and then I set up a debit order from FNB to transfer 1,000 Rand at the beginning of every month into the easycrypto.com account, which then buys these coins and transfer them to my Exodus software wallet automatically. This takes out the effort of me needing to buy these coins manually, and if you want to check out the easycrypto.com platform, you can get a free 50 Rand crypto voucher if you sign up using my link down in the description. Right, so my easycrypto.co.za portfolio value is currently at 7,692 Rand with a profit of 19.9% or 1,192 Rand. All of my money on this platform is invested in the EC10 token, and this month I invested another 500 Rand into it. On Revex, my portfolio value is 11,896 Rand with a loss of 22.57% or 3,468 Rand. My portfolio is roughly split equally between Bitcoin and the Revex top 10 bundle, and this month I invested another 500 Rand into the top 10 bundle. I then also have some crypto with Luno, of which my portfolio value is currently 2,819 Rand with a loss of 42% or 3,440 Rand. I don't use Luno to purchase crypto anymore and will probably transfer my Bitcoin and Ethereum holdings to my Exodus wallet in the near future. Now, I really like the diversification that the top 10 bundles bring, and the reason why I invest in both is because the one from easycrypto.co.za is market weighted, meaning Bitcoin and Ethereum carries the most weight because they have a higher market cap, whereas the other one from Revex is equal weighted, where every single coin has an equal weight of 10%. Market weighted bundles tend to do a bit better during bear markets and equal weighted ones during bull markets, but as I know that I cannot predict the market, and because cryptocurrencies are still very volatile, I just invest in both. But I also like to keep individual coins, as both Bitcoin and Ethereum is currently trading at massive discounts, which I want to bounce and capitalize on before the next bull run comes. I actually also purchased 500 Rand worth of Dogecoin this month using the instant buy function from easycrypto.com, and the reason being is that Elon Musk, who recently purchased Twitter, kind of wants to convert it into some sort of payment platform. And as we all know, Elon is notorious for backing up Dogecoin. So this little small cap altcoin can either go to the moon or not. But no, seriously guys, the only reason why I would invest in a crypto coin is because I believe it actually has some real life utility, not because it is some meme. And contrary to my own previous belief, Dogecoin actually has intrinsic value as it can make transactions much faster and cheaper than Bitcoin. So it will actually be very suitable to work on a payment platform such as the one that Elon Musk is planning to create. All right. So this brings my total passive investment portfolio value at the end of October 2022 to 208,745 Rand or $1,388, which is split up between 68.8% broad market ETFs and unit trusts, 17.5% individual stocks, 1.5% property, and 12.2% crypto. Now, I would ideally want to invest at least 70% of my portfolio in broad market funds and then use the other 30% to kind of dabble with higher risk investments like individual stock picking and crypto. I have increased my crypto holdings and will now aim between 10 and 15% of my portfolio. But that's just me, because I have a very high conviction for the future of blockchain technology, and I also have a high risk tolerance and a long investment time horizon. You might be different, so you need to figure out your own investment strategy yourself. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know down in the comments if you have any questions. You must all have a lekker day. Cheers.